Good morning. Today is Monday, October the 30th, 2017, and this is going to be the pre-recorded video for HCA 4160, Case Studies in Health Administration. This is the class that you're going to be attending this month online. And I will go ahead and tell you that all of the videos that you listen to will be pre-recorded videos. There will be no live sessions for the class. I'll make sure that I record the videos prior to the start of the week. And those videos will be uploaded for you to listen to each week. You'll be able to open and listen to the videos for each week as early as Monday of every week. So for today's video, this is a pre-recorded session. There is no live meeting for this video. Basically, I'll record everything that I need you to know. I'll upload the video, and throughout the video, if you pay close attention to everything that's given in the video, it should be able to assist you with any questions you may have. If you still have questions after I have uploaded the video and you've listened to it, you're more than welcome to reach out to me for assistance. Okay, so the videos will not be long every week. I just really want to talk about what to expect for the upcoming week, and to see if there is any questions that I need to address that I may have gotten from the previous week from students asking questions. Okay, so just to kind of give you a little background as to what you can expect for the class itself. The class itself, the title of the class is basically what the class is about. For the last three and a half years, you've spent all of your time going through different types of classes, learning about different types of employees and how those employees can impact your facility, your customer service, products and services that you offer to customers. And when I say customers, I mean patients and their families. You've been going through different types of classes. You've been through some leadership classes. You've been through some strategic management classes. You've been through some medical ethics classes. You've gone through classes that talk to you about communication, organizational behavior. How do I deal with, problem employees, the best solution to that. You've gone through risk management, what type of things or what type of people are considered risky to my particular facility. You've gone through all of these different type of classes, and now that you've gone through those classes, you're in this class because what you're going to be presented with is a lot of case studies, and you're going to be presented with case studies that are in accordance to the different type of topics for the class. So in the class itself, most of your daily activities will be based around case studies. Your expectation for the case studies are for you to use critical thinking skills. It's not for you to go, these are not case studies for you to go and research a bunch of material and send that in to me. That's not what I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is for you to now think outside the box. If you had this, and every scenario is different that I give you, it may be, you may have case studies on any given day that may all center around a particular topic. But the outcome of each case study will be different because the scenarios are different. So I may give you 4 case studies on authority, but every scenario has an authority piece in there, and you have to tell me how, in what way would you do this or that based on what the question is. So every case study has a series of questions. Some of them have 1 question, some of them have 2 questions, some have 3, some have a lot. But whatever the amount of questions are, you're going to be answering those questions in regards to that case study. And you have to read the case study because I'll know based on your answers if you read the case study and understood the case study. And I'm not, I'm going to be grading these. So it's not like, okay, well, you complete the questions. I'm just going to give you the credit for it. I'm actually going to be reading to see if you really read the case study and you understand what the case study is about. So that's what you can expect in the class. Of course, you're going to have things like quizzes and threaded discussions. You're going to have all those kind of things, but the majority of your class assignments are pretty much going to be case study based. There are going to be a few assignments that are not necessarily a case study, but some other type of assignment. And of course, whatever those assignments are, I'll give you the instructions for those so that you'll have it. As far as what you're going to be talking about in the class. So when you look at your textbook, and everyone should have their textbook downloaded in their portal. So the name of the textbook itself is Case Studies in Healthcare Supervision, 2nd edition. So when you actually look at the book itself, it's broken down into several different parts, okay? So in part 1, that part just kind of gives you an introduction into all of the different topics into the class. Part 2 of the book is where you're going to be going for your case studies. And in your case studies, the topics that you're going to be pretty much centered around throughout the book, in week 1, you're going to center around the topic on authority, change and management, communication, criticism, and discipline. In week 2, you're going to center around the topics decision making, delegation, employee problems and problem employees, general management practices. In week 3, you're going to center around hiring and placement, labor relations, leadership, meetings or conferences. And in week 4, you're going to center your topics around methods improvement, motivation, rules and policies, time management, and personal effectiveness. So those are all of the topics that will be covered in the class for the month. So let's focus on week 1 this week. Authority, change management, communication, criticism, and discipline. Now, as far as your PowerPoints, if you look at your PowerPoints in the class, and if you go under the link, where you go in Doc Sharing, click on the blue link that says Lecture Notes. You're going to see all of your PowerPoints for the month. I have the PowerPoints broken down by day because the expectation, according to your syllabus, is for you to read and study those PowerPoints every day as a homework assignment, but you're also going to complete questions in regards to that topic every day as a homework assignment, okay? Now, the homework, of course, is like any other class that you take from me. You have until Saturday to complete it, but the goal is for you to do it every night so that by the time the end of the week comes, you don't have so much piled on you. But again, that's a time management that's a time management element for you. And as managers, you have to know how to manage your time. So if you choose to wait until Friday or Saturday during the day to complete all of your homework assignments, that's fine. But I will tell you, your homework assignment will be short answer questions or essay questions every week. There's no true, false, no multiple choice with homework, not in this class. So that's just what you can expect. And if you're okay with sitting down doing 4 and 5 questions at one time per chapter, that's certainly up to you, okay? But the homework will be available at the beginning of the week. You can go ahead and do it if you want to. So when you're reading your PowerPoints, please do not assume that the questions I give you in homework are all in the PowerPoints. No, this class does require a lot of critical thinking. You can go and research different things as it pertains to the questions, but again, I'm not looking for information from someone else. I'm looking for your critical thinking piece. And a lot of the questions that I'm asking you in homework are things that you've covered in other classes. So now it's time to apply those things that you've learned from your previous classes. For example, and I'll just kind of go like I'll look at what's listed for today for questions as an example. So you have a question that says, who should departments and individuals report to? Think about it. If you have a department of people or you have a group of individuals, as it applies to a healthcare manager, who should those departments report to and individuals? So think about that question. The first thing that comes to my mind when I get that question is it depends on how the organization chart is laid out. Because yes, you may have individuals and departments reporting to someone, but how they're reporting and to who they report to, that needs to be defined in an organizational chart. Once you decide how you want to organize it, within that organization is when you decide who's going to be reporting to who. So you have 5 medical assistants. As a healthcare manager, your medical assistants should not be reporting directly to you. You ought to have a lead person that's in place that if they have an immediate assistance, they can go to that person. And then if it's beyond that person's control, then it comes to the healthcare manager. You've got to learn as a healthcare manager, you're not going to be able to take care of every single issue that comes through your office. It's just not going to work like that. You're going to have to do some delegation. You got to have some assistance. So when your nurses have an issue and you're working in a nursing home or a nursing facility, do you not have a DON? You don't have a director of nursing? That is the person that should be handling those nursing issues. Now, if the director of nursing is not available and you have no one else in place, or if that director of nursing has an issue that needs to be escalated to the manager, because you have some patients, they just pretty much demand, I want to talk to the manager, I want to talk to the manager, I don't want to talk to you, I want to talk to the manager. And when you have an irate patient like that or irate patient's family and they're in demand for the manager, then yes, you have to get them to the manager. But if it's minor issues or things that can be handled before it gets to you or without your assistance, then allow that to happen so that you won't be bombarded with so much stuff that you already got to do. You will not, I'm going to repeat that again, you will not be able to take care of every single issue that comes through your facility. It's not going to happen because there's too many other things that you got to be doing. You won't be able to do that. Next, one other question you have is, how do you get everyone to work together as a system or a team? So just think about it. And when you're thinking about these, looking at these questions and thinking about these questions, I want you to think about your own facility. If I was the manager, how would I want everyone to work together as a system or a team so that at the end of the day, and all throughout the day, we can let it be about the patient and the patient's families. Number 3, how does the vision and mission of an organization affect the role of the manager? You've had several classes that tie into vision and mission, especially your strategic and your leadership classes. This should be a question that should be easy breezy for you. And I have another question. What are at least 5 leadership traits managers should have? Think about your previous classes on leadership. We have talked about these things. What type of traits should a leader have in a healthcare facility? So that is what I mean when I say with your homework questions, you're using critical thinking skills. It's not a true false, not a multiple choice. You now have to take everything from previous classes and start applying them. Okay? So in dealing with week 1, what you're going to do today for your daily activity, you have some case studies to complete. When you click on day 1 in the portal, and I encourage you all to do that every week. Every week that you come into your portal, you need to click on whatever the day is for the week. So tomorrow, you'll click on day 2. Wednesday, you'll click on day 3. Thursday, you'll click on day 4. If you click on those days like that, as I'm stating it, you won't miss an assignment. Because when you click on day 1, it tells you exactly what you're doing for that day. So I tell you when you click on day 1 to complete activity 1, and pretty much that's for the daily assignment for today. I tell you to review the syllabus and course expectations because you'll be expected to turn in your syllabus acknowledgement on day 3, which is Wednesday. I tell you that you have to do threaded discussion number 1. This is the one for your initial post. Late posts will receive a deduction in points according to the rubric. The go-to meeting in the journal, I tell you that the journal is due on day 2, And that's in all of my classes. You'll listen to the video. The journal will be due on the next day. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the meetings in a few minutes. And then for homework, reading for day 1, which is the PowerPoints. They're in Doc Sharing under lecture notes. And then the review questions are due by Saturday of week 1, no later than 11:59 p.m. And when you look on the side, you will see the link for discussion number 1, the link for the go-to meeting, the link for the day 1 journal, and the link for the homework. You will see your setup like that pretty much every week. So you have for day 1, when you go to Doc Sharing, there's a document in there that says day 1 activity. You will click on it. It's a Word document. And when you click on it, it says day 1 online activity, case studies, due Monday, October the 30th. All right, so, and it tells you that the assignment is worth 40 points. So basically what you're doing is you're going to do case studies number 21, 62, 78, and 82. And remember, I stated that the case studies are in part 2 of your portal. Remember that I stated that. I stated that they're in part 2 of your book. I apologize. Part 2 of your book. So you'll open up the document, and it will tell you that it'll tell you what the case study numbers are. And so for today, it's case study number 21, 62, 78, 82. And so what you will do is go to part 2 of your book. You'll open up those case studies. You'll read each case study. You'll answer the questions tied to every case study. And then you will submit that document into day 1. So that it can be graded and uploaded in the grade book. That's pretty much how you're going to do every week for your activities. You're going to always pretty much go to Doc Sharing to get the actual document with the instructions. And I tell you in the instructions that the case studies, all of this is on the Word document. The case studies are located in part 2 of the textbook. Read each case study and then answer the questions at the end of the case study. Submit your answers into the Dropbox for day 1 online activity. So I tell you all of this on the Word document, but you got to open up the Word document in order to get that information. So for today, again, you have case studies to do, and they're in part 2 of your book. So you just go to part 2 of your book to get the actual case study. And there's 100 case studies listed in the book. We will not be doing all 100 case studies. I pick and choose certain case studies for you to do because it'll be based on the topic that we're talking about for that particular day. And so today, our focus is on authority. Okay, that's our focus for today, authority. Our focus for tomorrow, change management. Our focus for Wednesday, communication. Our focus for Thursday, criticism and discipline. Okay, now that I've covered pretty much what you're going to do for today, let me talk a little bit. Let me go back to the go-to meetings. So with the go-to meetings, this is pretty much how that's going to work. I've stated before in the beginning that it's going to be a pre-recorded video. Now, when I take attendance twice. I take attendance for completing the daily assignment because that's attendance for the class, but then I also have to record attendance for who attends the go-to meeting. Since we're doing pre-recorded videos, the only way that you will be able to get the attendance for the meeting is by submitting your journal. So your journal is a twofold. Your journal serves as a grade because it's worth 10 points, but your journal is also your ticket to be able to get your attendance. Because I know that you listen to the pre-recorded live video when you submit your journal, and based on what you put in your journal, if it's in alignment with what the video was, then you will get credit for that attendance. But if you do not submit a journal, no attendance can be given for the weekly go-to meeting. So I usually wait until Tuesday before I put the attendance in for the weekly meeting. I only have to record attendance once a week for the go-to meeting. Your other attendance is attendance that I have to record every day. And that is either you submitting your daily assignment or you submitted something else that day, on that day, that qualifies for attendance. So that could be you posted in a thread or you submitted a homework assignment or something, but it has to be time stamped for that day, which is why the daily assignments are easier to do and submit, because at least you know that you've got attendance, plus you was able to complete that particular assignment. But for the go-to meetings, that's attendance that's done once a week. So on Tuesdays when I usually look at putting the attendance in for that, and I'm only going to give you attendance if you submitted the journal after I have listened to the journal, because the journal has to be in alignment with the video that was uploaded. Okay, and something else I want to talk about for one last thing that I want to talk about, well, two things. Let me talk about the Thanksgiving holidays. So the class is scheduled to end on Wednesday of this month because of the Thanksgiving holidays, but we have to make up those contact hours. So the way that we're going to do it, being an online class, I'm adding an extra hour per day of contact hours for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So you'll see a little bit more, like you have a few more case studies than what you probably would intend to have on today. You'll have a few more than intended on Tuesday and Wednesday as well. Okay, so because we'll lose those 3 contact hours on Thursday of this month, the last day, because the class will end on Wednesday, we got to make up those 3 contact hours somewhere. So I'm putting an extra hour on today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. And I've made that notation at the top of your syllabus in case you have further questions about that. And then lastly, for your final project, it is not going to be a paper. You're actually going to do some things in regards to your role as a manager. And so you'll get information about that a little later on. That's not information that I will present now because we're not ready to do that just yet. But I will start talking about that maybe around week 3 so that you'll kind of know what to expect for week 4. Okay? Well, that's all that I have for today's meeting. If you have some additional questions, I am available by text. And again, all of these videos will be recorded, pre-recorded, and they'll be uploaded under the link each week for the go-to meeting. And those meetings are usually held week 1, day 1, week 2, day 5, week 3, day 9, and week 4, day 13. So those are the days in which you'll find the go-to meetings for that particular week. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.